Hello, Grace Point. It's Pastor Kamal, your missions pastor here, and I want to take this opportunity to update you on my current thinking about how we're going to engage in God's mission and continue to advance God's good news, His gospel, under this really unusual and new situation of physical isolation brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, as you know, a few weeks ago, we had planned to have what we called a missions morning, where we talked about what it means to be a church of migrant background, engaging with God's global mission under conditions of globalization in partnership with the global church. But let me tell you that now this pandemic has turned all of our missions paradigms upside down. See, we used to think that under conditions of globalization, we could minister and engage in God's mission in a situation where it was really easy to travel overseas. But as you know, this COVID-19 pandemic has caused what we're calling de-globalisation. That is, as you know, it's virtually impossible to travel internationally now. You may be stuck here and intending to have been overseas, or perhaps you're from overseas and now you're stuck here in Australia. And so we now need to think about ministry and mission in a context where we can't go overseas and we're stuck in our own country, and in fact stuck in our own rooms and our own bedrooms. More of that in a moment. Another aspect of de-globalisation, those of you who follow the economic impacts of this COVID-19 crisis will realize that even global supply chains have been broken by this pandemic. And so one of the reasons that we can't get all of the goods that we want to when we go to the shopping center is because our retailers and wholesalers, their supply chains have been affected by this pandemic. Their factories are closing down. The people who usually transport their logistics are closing down, and so on and so on. And so you've probably noticed how people have been talking about how, as a nation, we, Australia, need to become more self-sufficient. That's another aspect of this de-globalisation. And that's another aspect of our whole ministry and mission paradigm being turned upside down. And so we need to think different and engage with this new reality. But even as we talk about engaging with ministry as a nation, one of the other effects of this pandemic has been what I call de-federalisation of our nation to some degree. What I mean is this: 119 years ago, the separate colonies that now make up Australia came together as one federation to form a nation. But now, as you know, many of our states are saying to Australian citizens, go home. We don't want you here if you don't live in our state. So now they're doing that for perfectly good reasons, because they're trying to slow down the spread of this really dangerous virus. But my point is simply this: that's another way that this COVID-19 crisis has changed our expectations of life and ministry and mission, and we need to deal and engage with this whole new paradigm. And another aspect that I want to just bring to your attention is what I call the virtualization of all of life. Now, what on earth is the virtualization of all of life? I mean by that, quite simply, the way that everything is now online. We work online from home. We study online from home. We do our shopping online from home. And of course, as you know, our ministry happens online. And so this is a new reality. How do we engage with people? How do we advance God's mission in a virtualized, online, non-physical world? Well, I've raised all of these questions in this first update. And let me tell you, we as Grace Point Presbyterian Church are the best situated to pioneer the answers, because we are a pioneering church that's not afraid of ministry on the frontier in new situations. Let me tell you that we have blessed our denomination, the Presbyterian denomination, through our pioneering of online ministry. And so I am really optimistic, and I'm looking forward to helping you, partnering with you, and leading you into engaging this whole new reality of a de-globalized, de-federalized, and virtualized world. What does it mean for us to engage God's mission and advance his kingdom under these conditions? We'll explore that over more and more mission updates as we all think these through together and seek to do the best we can to advance God's mission in this day and age.